just to... Oh my god. Oh my god, I look weird. I look like myself, but at the same time I don't look like myself. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charmaine and today we will be doing a try a new technique makeup tutorial video. There are a lot of keywords in my head, but I haven't formed like a proper sentence with it. Does anyone else do that with their minds? I do that all the time. So catfish, Chinese makeup, transformation, eye-enlarging makeup. It's something that I've been seeing floating around the internet, especially on, I guess, TikTok. I don't really scroll on TikTok, but the videos on TikTok finds its way onto Instagram. I've been seeing quite a slew of Chinese makeup tutorial sort of style of video where it's super short and these girls just apply makeup cutely and quickly, and they just kind of totally transform from one person to another. You can totally transform from like someone with like super sallow skin and like you're like borderline middle age, and then you transform into like this little girl with the help of filters, of course. I've been really intrigued by the techniques that they use to create this sort of feature improving makeup. So I was like, so how much of this is actually a filter and how much of this actually works? I really wanted to find out, so here we are. And this video is like, I was sort of all over the place in this video because I just really wanted to do like something like this, but I don't really know how I was supposed to do it when I don't really know much about this sort of makeup. So I just kind of went for it and I think I did an okay job. I wouldn't say that this is the best ever transformation video that you've ever seen. It's definitely a sort of makeup style that I don't really like to do, especially my eyes. It's nice though. I don't think I'll do it on an everyday basis. It's a lot of work, and although I sort of look like myself right now, I know that when I take off one side of my makeup it will look really very different and it's really very disorienting. I'll just cut it short here so that we can just get started because I have a feeling that it's gonna be a really long one, so let's just go ahead and get started so we can start discovering new techniques together. So after looking through like a ton of those videos, I have concluded that there are at least 5 different parts that makes up a successful transformation catfish makeup look, Chinese style. So I have it on a note right here. The first one is perfect pale skin. Secondly, eye-enlarging makeup. Thirdly, a good contour. Fourthly, skinny defined brows. And lastly, a bright pouty lid. Well, it doesn't have to be bright, but it's definitely pouty. With this list in mind, let's just get started. I'm actually really nervous because I've never really tried this before. To start it all off, I'm just gonna make myself as pale as possible, and my first step to doing this is to use this primer that I haven't used in a very long time, but I used to use this when I was into the whole like Korean makeup look thing. So this is from PERIPERA. This is their Blur Pang Pure Milk Blur Tone Up and Skincare Effect. It's like a primer skin cream kind of thing. So I'm just gonna get some on my fingers right here, like a dollop, like this size. I'm gonna rub it into my skin. So this is like a color correcting sort of cream that is also moisturizing. It really just lightens the skin because it's like a whitish color. So it really helps with like brightening the skin tone and making sure that you don't look too sallow. Okay, then once that is done, I'm going to go into one of my lightest foundation shades ever because I noticed that they like a full coverage foundation that boasts a lighter, brighter skin tone. I'm just gonna go in with this GIORGIO ARMANI Luminous Silk Foundation. I have this one in the number 3. So it's actually really very light for me right now. It used to be my color. I'm not sure how I was so pale back then. It did lighten my skin a little back then, but I think it's significantly way lighter than my actual skin tone right now. And actually, I'm just gonna go in and mix in a couple of drops of my favorite Clarins Skin Illusion foundation as well, because this foundation is a little bit more on the matte side and it doesn't glide on as well as I would want it to glide on. So I'm just gonna add in some of this more serum-like foundation to kind of alter the consistency of the foundation. So I'm just gonna go in with like, I'm almost out of this too. Like what seems like one pump of this. This is more of like a light to medium buildable coverage foundation with a bit of like a radiance to it. I'm just gonna add like about 3 drops of this. Mix it all up. It's way liquider now. Paint it onto my skin first. And I'm just gonna go in with a brush to paint it onto my skin the way the Chinese girls would do it. This foundation brush is the square foundation brush from Real Techniques, and it's supposed to give you like really full coverage with its compact flat bristle sort of mechanism. Once everything is pretty much blended in, you can see that my complexion is already so much paler than even my hands. I'm going in with some concealer, and I'm gonna use my Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. It's a nice full coverage concealer that still behaves quite very much like a foundation and also like skin. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hide my dark circles and focus on concealing all of my blemishes. And with this one, I'm just gonna go in with my Real Techniques buffing brush. Just blend everything out with like sort of light, very light motions, letting the brush do all the work for me. This brush is like quite a nice recent discovery, and I've been loving it a lot. At this point, my skin is pretty much blanked out. I actually noticed that they do use quite a bit of powder on their faces, and they actually do bake a little bit to kind of enhance their highlight, I guess. I'm not really very familiar with that entire technique, and I'm not the biggest fan. But I'm just gonna go ahead and like contour with this Cezanne shading stick. It's like a nice little contour stick that usually doesn't show up on me because it's so light, but since my skin is super paled out right now, it actually sort of works on me. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do like a nice little 3 shape. I actually saw someone do this, like the classic 3 swoop all the way down to the jaws. I'm just gonna repeat that on this side. And then I'm gonna draw 2 lines down too, and some on my double chin area. Catfish to the max. I'm gonna take the sides of this contour stick down the sides of my nose as well, being careful as to where I'm putting this contour. I saw this video where some girl was teaching how to contour your nose, and she kind of did like a triangle shape like here. She does like 3 sections, so she does the inner parts, and then she draws 2 lines, 2 small little lines on the middle of the nose as the second part, and she does 1 more line around the tip of the nose as the final part. I don't think you can see this very well because the shade is a bit lighter, but she kind of does this too. Do I need to zoom you in so you can see better? She does 2 lines here, and I think like around the crevices of the nose as well. It doesn't really go in. Okay, I'm just gonna like blend out whatever's on my face first, and I think we will just keep this as it is until we arrive at the post powdering step, so we can use like a powder contour to complete everything. Actually, this brush isn't working out. This is the contour brush from Real Techniques as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend everything out. I think the color is a little too light for the job, but it sort of gave it a contour. It's not that bad. I'm gonna go into my powder, which is the Oil Control Water Blotting Powder. Oh my god. I'm just gonna heavily deposit powder under my eyes. It feels so weird. Help me. I think the key point is to really sharpen the contours. The feeling under my eyes is so uncomfortable. I'm just gonna powder my forehead while we're waiting for the bake to settle. How long am I supposed to wait? You know what? I'm just gonna leave it there. And while we're waiting for the bake to do its baking stuff, I'm going to get into my eyebrows. Okay, so the eyebrows are a lot thinner than I usually do them. My natural brows are a lot thicker on the inside corners right here, which usually dictates how thick the rest of my brows become. And their brows are usually more arched, so I'm not really very sure how I'm gonna go about doing my brows actually. I'm gonna use my Kat Von D Brow Strap Dimension Powder in light brown, which is the darker shade that I have. I think firstly I'm gonna map out the shape first. And And I'm going to try to not blend it out too much because I want it to be like thin, arched, dark, penciled in sort of look. How far do they go with their brows? I think perhaps like this much. Also longer on the insides, I assume. I'm going into my Bare Necessities palette, and it has all these nice brown shades. I'm just gonna pick out the most cool tone brown I see, which would be... I'm just gonna go into Banter and hopefully it works for me. I'm just gonna go into the ends of my brows to sort of matte it out a little bit, because right now under the light it looks like it's disappearing into nothing because of the shimmery quality to it, and I don't want that in this look. I'm just gonna like trace the underneath to further define them a little, and also on the top arched area without adding too much height to it. And this is one brow done. Does it look different from my regular brows? I think a little. Is it enough? I have no idea. I'm going to go into my Too Faced Born This Way concealer with my Real Techniques detailer brush. I'm gonna get some of these products on my brush over here. I'm gonna push it into the brush on the back of my hand. Just gonna try my best to carve out like a nice defined shape to the brows. Today is a day full of techniques I don't really use in my everyday life. I'm not sure how I'm gonna conceal those brow hairs though. I'm also running it on the top to make sure that that's defined as well. Wiping off the excess on the back of my hand, I'm just gonna pull it down a little bit, like whatever's like that line of concealer. I'm just gonna pull it down to blend it into the skin. And then using my finger, gonna pat it all in. I don't think much changed. I'm gonna go pluck away some of these eyebrow hairs that you see on this bottom side over here. It's really driving me nuts. And like, just pray for me, because after I pluck these out, my normal brows will look quite weird. But for the sake of looking good for this video, I'm gonna do it. Okay, now that we're done with that, let's sweep away the rest of the powder on my face. It's driving me nuts. Oh, it's so dry. We're gonna start with eyeshadow. For the eyes, the bigger the eye, the better. It doesn't have to be real. Your eyes can become like 3 times the size it was before and it will be alright. So the first step is usually to find like the most eye-enlarging colored contact lens that you can find. I currently have color contacts on as well. It's not the biggest, and I think usually they gravitate towards those with like the ring around it, like the darker ring around like a lighter color, because those really define the eyes and make your eyes look really Caucasian-y and like doll-like and humongous. My one is I think 14.2 mm, so it's not really the biggest thing in the world, but it'll do. So I'm just gonna go into the same eyeshadow palette. This is the Bare Necessities palette again. I'm just gonna go into maybe the same shade, maybe Banter again. The shade that I used on the ends of my brows as well. I am just going to kind of apply it almost all over my mobile lid area. Then when that is done, you want to take like a smaller fluffy brush. Mine is stained purple. I'm going to go into a shade that's slightly darker, so I'll just go in with Crack On because it's the one next to it. Mix it a little with Banter so it's not too dark. And I'm just gonna do like a sort of halo kind of shape where I just... Oh, it's a little dark, but it's okay. Where I focus it onto the inner and outer corners as usual. It's like the ultimate like dimension giving eye contouring sort of step. With the Banter shade again. Tap off the excess really well and dab off some on the back of the hand. Look straight into the mirror like so. This part is slightly more technical, I guess. If you look in the mirror, the skin that is below, right below where your pupil lie, is where you want to start the color, and you want to kind of like just draw like a straight line outwards. Let me just demonstrate and see if you can understand what I mean. Like you kind of do like this sort of motion And you kind of just want to deposit like whatever color is on the brush into this triangle over here that is usually a little bit different from the rest of the skin. You want to just continue focusing on like pulling it outwards in like a horizontal line, so you get something like this. And even though it's very rough and weird and you look kind of punched in the eye, you can tell that it looks a little bigger than this eye already. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this eye untouched. I didn't think this far ahead, but I'm just gonna leave this eye untouched, so by the end of this eye you can see how this eye is like. Good idea? Good idea. Why didn't I think of it sooner? And then I'm just gonna pull in the remaining color without adding any additional into the inner parts over here. And I'm gonna focus on like really dragging it downwards until the underneath part of the eye bag area, like where it casts a shadow. I'm just gonna intensify the shadow. I saw like one of these girls using a Q-tip with some makeup remover, I think. So I'm gonna use this Nivea Micellar Skin Brief Professional Makeup Remover, face and eyes. So it's like a by face sort of situation. I got sent this quite a while ago. I've never really talked about it. Open my eyes real big. Just gonna lodge it here and like literally where my eye stops. And I'm gonna pull out in a line to try to remove whatever eyeshadow's there. Oh, he kind of just smudged everything. Use the dry side and sort of just wipe everything out again. Oh, is it because I'm wiping away the foundation and my skin underneath is actually really, really dark? Well, in that case, I'm gonna go in with my detailer brush that still has a little bit of concealer on it. Draw a line outwards like so. That will help me separate the top color and the bottom color in a sense. So we get like a double wing sort of effect, I guess. Then what the girl did was she took like a brown liner. It's my 3CE Super Slim Waterproof Eyeliner in the shade light brown. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and sort of define a line like so here. Very lightly, almost not touching my skin. Sort of giving myself like one of these lines. It looks really weird, but it sort of gives like this inside area of the eye like sort of like a whiter look here. Gonna draw it inside a little bit into like where the lash line is. And then I think the key to all of this eye enlarging makeup is to draw a line underneath the eye bag over here, and then focus on really blending it out. I think this is something that you gotta have to practice to really nail it, because I'm really not nailing it right now. It helps if you kind of try to squeeze your eye bag out a little bit. And then when that's done, you kind of have like this area where you look like your eyes are swollen. I think I'm gonna like just lengthen this shadow over here. So I'm gonna go in with this PERIPERA Pearly Nights Liquid Glitter Shadow in number 3 Kitten Beige. And I'm just gonna dot it onto the center of my lids right here. And just blending it out with my fingers. Focusing on the middle part to bring light and shimmer to the eye look. I noticed that's what a lot of them like to do, so I'm just following suit. With another Q-tip, I'm just gonna brush it off the tip over here. Squint my eyes and look into my mirror. Paint it on this eye bag area right here, all the way into the inner corners and upwards. And give it a small little tap to blend. And blend it downwards into the fake shadow that I created as well. I think that works. Do you think it works? At this point, I'm not sure. I just look irritated. My eyes just look irritated. I noticed that for their eyeliners, they like to do quite the Koreans and the Japanese, they like to do it like borderline doe-eyed and droopy. The Chinese as well. But a lot of them, the ones that aim to have a more uplifted eye shape. I'm not sure how you say it in English. In Chinese, we call it feng yan, which is like phoenix's eyes. So if you look at the eyes of a peacock, for example, their eyes are usually like kind of shaped this way. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and just jump right in with sort of like a wing that goes up instead of my usual outward wing, like so. And they really do that thing where I like to do, which is to point the insides as well. That really helps with the elongation of the eye. I noticed that some of them actually does use the liquid eyeliner to create some fake lashes on their fake new lash lines, and that sort of helped with that definition on the lower lash line, I guess. And I'm just gonna go in with this liner to kind of define that brown fake lash line a little more. I'm just gonna take a nude pencil, a nude eyeliner pencil. This is actually a concealer, I think. It's from the brand Sakura Machi. My stylist and friend gave it to me. He bought it from Japan, but I'm not sure from where. So any nude pencil that you can get your hands on, I think will work. I'm just going to line the waterline and sort of kind of bring it out a little bit. I'm gonna go into Taboo in this palette over here, which is even darker. And because it has gotten so dark over here, I'm just gonna balance it out with like darkening the inner and outer corners on this top lash line as well. And I'm just gonna kind of blend it a little more and up beyond what I initially thought was necessary. Okay, I think it works. I'm gonna take a little bit of like Idle Hour and just pop it into the inner corners right here for some additional light to the eyes. Oh, and some on the brow bones, I see that they do that quite a bit. With that, I'm going to go in with some lashes. So this is my Leonani Long and Separate Lash. It's a new tube of mascara, and I'm just gonna try to see if this will work for what I want it to do. Oh, it does actually do quite well. It's a black mascara and it has fibers inside to help lengthen and separate each lash. I'm gonna go in with a couple of coats of this. I'm gonna try my best to not have to use like false lashes, even though I know that false lashes is like the best way you can go about with creating that fake big eye effect. I just want to see how far a mascara can bring you. It's gotten really long and it's actually thickening too, which is a surprise. Wow, I like this mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of just mascara this middle portion. I think we need a sharper inner corner, so I'm just gonna go ahead and draw like a sharper and more obvious line. Okay, I think we see a difference. Do we? I do. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this side of the eyes and come right back for the rest of the face. I did my best. The eyeliner's a little lopsided, but I think overall, my eyes are as humongous as they can get right now with all the expertise that I have. Let me just move you a little bit. Can you see it now? Oh, you can. It's humongous, but if you look too closely, you can see that it's not humongous and it's just a lot of makeup. So, alright. I promise you I'm fixing this situation. I'm actually just waiting for my ring light to arrive and then I'll have proper lighting. So now my brows are done, my eyes are done, and my base is done. We have 2 more to go, which is our contouring technique and our pouty lips. So I'm just gonna go in with this Too Cool for School Art Class by Rodan contouring powder. So it has like 3 different shades right here. I'm just gonna go into the darker 2 shades over here, and then I'm just gonna be very mindful on where I put this because I don't want to appear bronzed. I just want to appear skinnier. So below my cheekbones, I don't need a very protruding jawbone, so I'm just gonna shave that in as well. Essentially, I'm just gonna like kind of shade this entire area of my face right here. Once I'm done with the step, you kind of help reseat this entire area in, and you can see that it is a lot more V-like than this side. Keep in mind that you have to blend it over to this side beside the chin, so basically like one line all the way down to the chin area because we want it to be like a V all the way down, right? So you essentially just kind of carve it out with your bronzer or contour shade. I'm also gonna go into my normal contour brush. Usually I go in with this color alone, but I'm gonna go into this middle shade right here. And I'm just gonna go over what I did with that cream contour. Nose contouring is such an important step in Asian makeup, I feel, because everyone wants like that straight, structured nose look. So this area where the brow and the nose bridge meets is a very important area to contour. So definitely don't forget this area. And then I'm just gonna draw 2 parallel lines down the nose as close as possible. And then 2 lines that kind of meet at the bottom of the tip right here. So kind of lift the tip up as well. Then we're just gonna go with the remainder color, blend it down and onto the nostrils. I think this step kind of shortens this area a little bit too, so it looks sharper and less flat and buttony, I guess. When you contour, you definitely need to highlight. I'm actually going to go into the Idol Hour eyeshadow color over here because that's what I used in the inner corners of my eyes. It's actually a really nice highlighting shade. So I'm just going to take some on my finger. I'm just going to put some onto the nose over here, down the bridge as well. And I'm just gonna make sure that I blend it out really well. And you wanna make sure that the highlight over here is as tiny as possible because the highlighting really helps enhance that illusion of a small tip on the nose. On the cheekbones as well, just gonna take my finger, blend it into my cheekbones, and then we're gonna go in with blush. Don't need to do anything special with the blush. No, they just go with whatever the makeup look calls for. So I'm just gonna go into my Kissin blush from ColourPop, my favorite. I'm gonna go like right underneath my eyes. I'm gonna start kind of blending in my blush from there. So it's gonna be more of like a cutesy blush effect. I'm gonna blend it all over my nose. This will help with the whole doll-like, childlike, doe-eyed, blushy face sort of effect. I'm gonna put some on the chin and some on the forehead to kind of just blend it all and can't stand it without. Okay, I'm gonna take this Monster Super Shock highlighter. It's a pinkier highlighter shade. You can see that pink reflect on my finger right here. I take this as a blush topper and just kind of go over top all the blush work that I did on my cheeks to kind of just give it a lot more of like a sheen and highlight. And then we're gonna do the lips. I have a lot of options right here, but they're all like brighter lip options. So there's a lot of like red lipsticks, fuchsias. This is like more of like hot pink like tint, and this is the PERIPERA Airy Ink Velvet, and it's like a coral shade. I think I'm gonna use this one because this one has an exceptionally bright neonness to it that I think fits the look really well. It smells a little old. I haven't used this in a while, so I'm just gonna apply it onto my lips like so, focusing it onto the insides first and then blending it out. Well, the Chinese don't really pencil in their lips a lot, but they do like to really intensify the full lip look. I'm internally praying that my lips don't fall off after this video, because it smells really expired. Blend it a little so that the lip line's not too defined, and because this color is slightly too sheer and I honestly think it's not poppy enough, I'm gonna go in with some of this red lipstick. This is the Evil Queen matte lipstick from ColourPop. I'll hide it to the insides. This one is a very bright blue red, sort of blue true red sort of lipstick, and I really love it for like a bright lip look. I think I'm just blessed that I have quite full lips. I think that you can actually make it a lot fuller if you try it. I'm just gonna try to make it fuller than it is, so I'm gonna overdraw the lip liner though, so it's fuller on the bottom. And fuller on the top as well. The lips are really full, really bright, and really red. I'm gonna turn around, lift my camera, turn it around so you can see exactly what I mean with the makeup look alone. So right now my hair is a mess. Forgive the background. Oh, I can't take myself seriously with this makeup look, but I can tell that I don't really look myself, so that's a plus, I guess. And yeah, you can tell that I'm a little skinnier than I normally am, and my eyes are definitely not the same shape as it usually is. Lips are brighter. So yeah, that's my take on the catfish, the Chinese transformation catfish sort of tutorial look. I'm gonna do my hair a little bit and I'll be right back to show you the final look. Alrighty, so now here I am with my final look. What do you think? I think that I did quite a good job considering that it is my first ever time trying to do something like this. So let me give you like a super close-up. Eyes are enlarged artificially as much as makeup can do. Paler, brighter skin, sharper bone structure, brighter lips, brows that are a lot more defined. I still look like myself though. So anyways, this is like the final look, and thank you so much for watching all the way to this point. If you have stayed with me, thank you so very much. I truly appreciate it, and I think for this video I at least deserve a little bit of like a comment or something, just letting me know how I did, letting me know if you enjoyed watching this video, if you think I should have done anything differently. I mean, I'm definitely not an expert in this field, so please go ahead and let me know what you think. And of course, if you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my handle is ShermaineCCW right here. I post a lot of other makeup content, photos, tutorials, shorter ones. And yep, with that, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end once again, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! Okay, let's just see how much of this is actually just... I'm on snow right now, and I just want to see how much of this is actually just filtered makeup. So you can see like on camera, like an actual camera, I look really different, but let's just see how much of this is filtered and how much of this is makeup. I don't even know what filter is good for this. This is the eye-enlarging one. I think they do use something like that, don't they? Do I do this too? Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait. Oh. How about this one? No, there's no option. How about this one? I look like myself, but at the same time I don't look like myself. Oh, let's go get like a nice cute filter. Jelly? How about Frozen? No. I like this one. Okay, let's go for this one. I look... No. Oh my god. how do the Chinese people pose? Like, how those Chinese girls, those cute ass Chinese girls, how do they pose? Like this? I don't have my mic on for this one, so whatever happens, the sound's gonna be a bit off. How are you supposed to look cute in this? I'm convinced that it's just all filters. What other... How about one of these? Ooh. Hello! I dig it! I look so cute. I think it's really like just... I think this makeup look is really good for... how do you say it? Like, it's really good for... filters. It's really good to take photos with because I can see that on the app itself I look really good with like super big anime eyes, and the makeup really helps enhance that effect. But on camera, like the real one, it doesn't look as good. You get what I mean? Like, I can see where this is going. Taking a video within a video within a video. So let me just go ahead and play with this app. I'm on snow, so let me just go ahead and play with this app, and then we can see everything.